Minister, I understand the insurers of Costamare Shipping have issued a statement saying that they're called the Swedish Club, saying that they will meet the obligations of the situation in full, and that this cover, their insurance cover, includes pollution liabilities. Were you aware of that? Have you got any comments to make about that?
Well, I obviously haven't seen that statement, but obviously the owners of the ship are required to meet their liabilities under law. I'd have to have a close look at that statement before I made any further comments on it. Can I just make a couple of comments about a question earlier? I think we've all got to grapple with the fact that this is not an easy situation, and the suggestion that we should just adopt the principles of the fire service suggests that it's an easy path to go through. Certainly the intricacies of this exercise, as explained to me, in terms of how you set up these pumping systems and set them going, is very difficult indeed. And those are the challenges around adding booster pumps and other things into it. So it's a constant refining of the system. And then of course the ship goes and does something a bit different, and then you have to rearrange your approach and your angle of attack. So I think that's just something that we've all got to keep in mind. It's a bit frustrating. We'd all like to say A plus B equals C, and just proceed on that basis. But in terms of Maritime New Zealand monitoring the salvage operation, that's why they of course have Captain John Walker here to be always there to second guess and ensure on the country's behalf that we're comfortable with the approach being taken.
This question for Andrew, please. I'm curious about sort of how fast you'll be able to respond once the ship does detach, if it does do so. You said that the preferred response is to tug and tow it. How fast will yourselves be able to make that decision to get it moving and do that?
The advice I have is that it's unlikely to, should that stern section come apart, it's unlikely that that would happen instantaneously. There would be some pre-warning from both the sensors on board and the tugs nearby if it were daylight, and that they'd then be able to get ready to tow that section. Of course, there are a number of unquantifiables with that, because exactly how that stern section would behave if it detached from the forward section is a little bit of an unknown at the moment, and that'll have to be, they'll have to work that out as it happens, if it happens.
So you said the tugs in daylight, that means that if it's stormy tonight and it breaks tonight, nothing will happen during the night? No,
so what we're saying there is that if it did break during the evening, the tugs are still there. What I'm saying is that during daylight you would obviously be able to see that a lot easier, but you would still be able to respond during the night.
Okay, so it's a response within a matter of hours then?
If it's a response, as soon as a response can be delivered.
Yeah, hi. At the moment you're pumping the oil from the port side. So what happens to the oil in the starboard side, starboard tank?
So to clarify, there's no pumping occurring right now. That port tank is sealed, and the Salvers advised me this morning of their plans to prepare to transfer the oil that's in the 5 starboard. That tank is on the low side of the ship, and that would involve divers trying to access a passageway, to clear a passageway, and then the first choice would be to replicate what they're doing on the port side in a cleared and sealed access way on the starboard side. But until they could get access to that starboard passageway, we won't know.
And that'll only happen once the stern has broken away?
No, that will happen as soon as the weather conditions allow.
You know this new oil sheen that you're talking about this morning from the Rena, has it been identified sort of exactly where that's coming from, that leakage?
That's very hard to tell. It's not, as far as we can ascertain, it's not coming from any of the large tanks that are still intact. It's likely it's coming from the bilge area or the duct keel area, and as the vessel's moving during the night, as the tide comes up and down during the day, you're getting small releases of this oil sheen from the ship, and it's being blown offshore.
You imagine there'll be a lot more overnight?
We will monitor that as we can. From a daylight point of view, there's a first light flight that will go up as soon as there's enough natural light to see it in the morning, and it will be monitored overnight with the electronic monitoring that's already on board.
One last question here. The booster pump, Andrew, how much would the rate of flow actually increase by?
We don't have a number. We know that it would increase the flow rate, and then if they could get that lubrication, that water lubrication inside the pipe as well to reduce the friction, that would increase it further. So once they get that booster pump online, if when pumping resumes, then we can let you know.